backgrounds of Two Center Plaza. Is everyone tracking the watch party activity that's about to descend upon Two Center Plaza?
I left there about an hour ago and didn't notice a thing.
Well, they haven't started yet.
Oh.
But they're scheduled to go from like 11 a.m. till 11 p.m. or from, I don't know, midday till 8 or 9 at night. And we're trying to get our arms around it. We're talking to Synergy to figure out like what are we thinking for road closures or parking or what?
You gotta take the train to the office.
I know, exactly.
I ended up registering to go one of the days.
You're talking about the Summer of Madness?
Yes. They're having watch parties across the street from Two Center Plaza almost for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
It's nice they brought in trees.
I wonder if they'll stay.
That'd be nice.
Is this for the World Cup?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm off camera because I'm eating a very late lunch, so no one needs to watch me do that.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
I believe we have quorum.
Who is it that has the notes on?
Sorry,
looks like Albion's. I'm not
there's
sure.
There's two of them. We did receive notice from a member of the public that they were going to record the meeting using an AI recorder.
Okay.
And Albion as well.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Are we ready to call the meeting to order, Jennifer?
Yes, you have quorum. There are 4 of you.
All right. Meeting will be recorded as was just said by both our team and a member of the public also requested, and we're giving permission for that. Welcome to our executive committee meeting, some number 300 and something of the meeting, which is quite amazing to keep track of. I like that MassTech does that. I'm going to ask Jennifer to go ahead and call the names of the public of the members of the public body who are participating remotely, which is everybody.
Okay. Right now in the call we have Rupa Cornell, Paige Fetzer-Borelli, Pam Reeve, Secretary Eric Paley. And it looks like, did we just have Ty Brady from the board joined as well? And there should be 2 other members of the board joining us if they come in the middle. Oh, I'm sorry, Joe's here. Sorry, Joe Durant is here. And Chancellor Julie Chen, I believe, is going to join.
But it has not joined yet, right?
No, she is not
Okay.
here yet.
All right. I'd like to remind everyone, we covered already some of the video stuff, but just to make it official here, I'd like to remind everyone of the open meeting law procedures regarding public participation in this meeting. After notifying the chair, any person may make a video or audio recording of an open session of a meeting of a public body subject to reasonable requirements of the chair. If anyone else intends to record this meeting beyond the member of the public and our own recording, please indicate now that you intend to do so. No person shall address a meeting of a public body without permission of the chair. Since we are not taking questions or comments from the public during this meeting, members of the public may follow up after the meeting with Michelle Sweet, whose contact information is on the meeting notice, and she will direct your questions, comments to the appropriate staff member. And with that, we are ready for item number 1, which is approval of the minutes from the April 15th meeting of the MassTech Executive Committee. We are going to do a roll call vote on the meeting of the minutes. Do we need a motion, I assume? Think we need a motion? Do I have a motion?
I'll move the motion.
I'll move it.
Great. And a second?
Second.
Terrific. Jennifer, will you call the roll?
Yes, and Chancellor Chen just joined us. We
Great.
are voting on the minutes.
Great.
Chancellor Chen.
Yes.
Okay. Rupa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you.
And now item 2 is the board chair. Just give a quick report on a few different items. First, we continue to talk about and promote our plans for Mass Wins, the economic development bill that the governor, lieutenant governor filed in April. We had our hearing in May, and I have continued meetings on that topic with various members of the legislature, plus many constituencies who are engaged on this. Numerous portions of it we've talked about before pertain to activities at MassTech, including bonding for the SHIELD for the Defense Initiative, continued investment in AI and quantum and robotics, along with lots of other provisions that are relevant as well in various different ways, including our Global Mass Initiative and our talent initiatives. A couple fun activities that I've gotten to be a part of recently, thanks to some of the collaborations with MassTech. One would be related, I'd say, to the SHIELD initiative, which was a visit with the governor to Lincoln Labs. I'd say she was pretty blown away by what we saw there. Thank you to Ben for the continued effort there. And we're coming to the final report, which is in process right now with some final editing being done from the 6 months of, well, now more than 6 months of the SHIELD initiative. Also, Pat kicked off the Tech Generation program very nicely over at BU. This is our program, our residential but largely community-driven program for student interns to show them the very best of what we have here in Massachusetts. Most of them are in residence at BU, but we also have some who are participating as non-resident participants. I think we had a great first session. I think they've had at least another session since that I was not at, but excited to see the level of enthusiasm among the students. And it's interesting talking to a bunch who were work from home internships. And if not for this program, they would be incredibly isolated. Many of them are not from Massachusetts. So even if they could find the housing and stay here and try to work from home, they really would have had no community around them at all. And instead, we get to mesh them in a community of students with a lot of energy and vibrancy doing really exciting stuff. So I was excited about that. We talked about some ideas, extension ideas, when I was over there with Pat in terms of getting these students some informational interviews in different types of sectors. Ben, you'll be glad to hear there were a few from the defense sector, including 2 going up to Lexington every day for organizations you know well. I'm going to leave it there and turn it over to our CEO, Carolyn Kirk, for item number 4.
Thank you,
Item number
Secretary.
3. Excuse me.
I appreciate it. Unfortunately, I'll have to yield my time over to Jennifer Soberman, who will have to take us through the open meeting law complaints as we are required to do. But I'm happy to take any questions from any member of the board on any matter related to the agency.
So you want to take the questions now?
Yeah, before we hand it over to Jennifer.
Okay. So how I understand there's a search going on for a C-suite position, a CFO position. Is that where are things going in terms of that?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. Breaking news as of yesterday, we had a gentleman accept the position, accept our offer, and he comes to us. He will start July 6th, I believe. Holly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So there'll be a little bit of overlap with our current CFO, and he comes to us, interestingly enough, from the defense industry. He works at a federal research lab right now, and he spent some time at Draper. So he understands governmental accounting and auditing extraordinarily well. And we had him interview also with folks from the executive office. And I know the CFO and the staff there were really happy to see the depth of background there. So we're excited about his background, and he's looking to land, a role for some period of time within his home state, which is Massachusetts, and he's raising his family here. So you'll be able to meet him in due time. So we're excited about where this search ended up.
Congratulations. Sounds like you got a great candidate. So
Yeah,
Exciting.
we think so. Any other questions? I gave a pretty comprehensive report at the last meeting, so I'm happy to just keep it moving over to Jennifer.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn. So I had circulated prior to the meeting the 2 complaints and 2 proposed responses. The first complaint, which was received by Secretary Paley on May 8th, centers around the public notice for the April 15th Executive Committee meeting, specifically 2 agenda items. Number 2, the report of the chair, and agenda item 10, which was the MBI grants digital equity partnership program, additional grant funding for a handful of partners. Just to sort of refresh everyone's memory, or on what's required in a meeting notice. So meeting notices must contain a listing of topics the chair reasonably anticipates will be discussed at the meeting. The list of topics shall have sufficient specificity to reasonably advise the public of the issues to be discussed at the meeting. With regard to the first complaint, that the report of the chair was not specific enough, this has come up repeatedly in a number of complaints. And so the response that I propose really mirrors what we've said before, that these were just quick updates on things that the chair wanted to mention, and not discussion topics that we're expecting substantive discussion on. I did in this letter call out sort of that we've been waiting for responses from the Division of Open Government at the Attorney General's office for them to rule on a couple of appeals that Brian McCarter has filed regarding the same exact issue. And so just sort of indicating, look, you might continue to file open meeting law complaints regarding this particular issue. The board will continue in its belief that it's not violating the open meeting law by proceeding in this way. And really, unless and until we have a ruling from the Division of Open Government, this is just going to keep happening. The other allegation in there was that the MBI agenda item there were 3 things that he highlighted. That he thought it was missing a party, that we should have mentioned Tech Goes Home in the meeting notice. And I propose that we respond that the request before the board was for approval of grant funding to 6 grantees. And that's what the notice reflects. We didn't anticipate or require a discussion about Tech Goes Home. That was a reallocation of funding from them. So they did not need to be in the meeting notice. He also alleges that the title or whatever was written in the meeting notice obscures the true nature. These were contract amendments, not new contracts, and for some reason he thought that those should be notified or noticed in the public notice. But I would argue that there's no discussion required from the board to weigh in on our contractual mechanisms with our grantees, so that didn't need to be in the notice. And also he alleges that the dollar amount should have been included in the meeting notice. And my proposed response is that this was a reallocation of previously authorized grant award, which the board had already approved in an open meeting. So the grant amounts are really not material for the public notice. And then again, he notes in here that there's a pattern and practice of MassTech violating the open meeting law. And the response there is that we don't believe we are, so there is no pattern or practice. And so that's the May 8th. In terms of the May 10th complaint, this is about the February 11th board meeting minutes, execcom meeting minutes that were approved at the April 15th meeting. I will note that I saw in preparing for today 2 small mistakes I made in the letter that I would fix. The complaint was filed not April 10th, May 10th. So in this one, the complainant identified 5 things that they felt should have been included in the meeting minutes. Just as a quick overview on the law related to meeting minutes, that public bodies are required to create and maintain accurate minutes of all meetings, including executive sessions that set forth a summary of the discussions on each subject, decisions made and actions taken, including a record of all votes. And then the Division of Open Government further sort of expands on that and talking about that you should include dissenting or minority opinions, significant debates, opposing viewpoints, so sort of kind of bigger discussion points. And then in terms of his specific complaint, the first three things he alleges should have been included in the minutes were all things that I said during a discussion about another open meeting law complaint that he had filed. And that really, that level of detail isn't necessary to comply with the law. And a summary of the discussion was provided. He also alleges that a board member asked 2 questions and the questions and responses were omitted from the minutes. These were clarifying questions. They didn't reflect opposing positions or significant debate. That was not necessary to include in the minutes. And then he also alleged that the CEO report item was truncated, which yes, it was, because it had to be a summary of the discussion. And the summary was sufficient in providing enough information for the public to understand what was happening and what the CEO discussed. And then he also alleged that some of the documents that were used at the meeting were not included in the minutes. All the minutes should always have a listing of all documents that were used at the meeting. And he is correct. We did fail to include a listing of some of the documents. It was actually 5 of the 9 documents used at the meeting were not included in the minutes. So my recommendation here is that we will update the February 11th minutes on our website to reflect the additional documents that should be listed in the minutes. And then also, just to prevent this from happening again, distribute a checklist that the Division of Open Government has already provided. And I'll distribute that among the people at MassTech who touch the minutes in any way, so that we all have a checklist, so this won't happen again. And so if there are no questions and everyone is okay with that, that's how I would recommend proceeding. I'm sorry that took so long.
Okay, so we don't need to do anything unless anyone has any questions. We can proceed with item number 4.
Yeah,
Actually, I have one question that I'm not sure is salient. It's a clarifying question.
Yep.
I would be interested in having a closed session, honestly, to really better understand the number of complaints and kind of what's happening with all of this. So I don't know if that's something we can do at the end of this session, or if that would have to be, I don't know the process, but if we, and Jennifer, if it's better for me to take this offline and talk to you about it separately, if now is not the time, that's fine. But I think a closed session of the executive committee might not be a bad thing for us to have next time around, at least.
Okay, yes, we can't go into an executive session now because we didn't publicly notice that.
Yep.
But we can discuss the complaints in an executive session, since they are essentially like legal complaints against the board.
Right.
And so we can do that at a future meeting.
Okay, I would like that very much. Thank you. And if other members disagree, please let me know. But this is how we managed the litigation years and years ago as well. So that'd be great. Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone? Okay, with that, let's move on to some activity that is critical for us to get done on behalf of many of our likely grantees. So agenda item 4 is the Innovation Institute, the Applied AI Models Challenge. And I'm delighted to have Sabrina jump in and take us through the grants that are planned.
Thank you, Secretary Paley. So we're requesting approval of 5 grants here. This is the AI Models Challenge. We ran the same program last year, and looking to have the second cohort awarded the following grants. So to the Atlantic Resiliency Innovation Institute, an award amount of $958,550. and this is in the climate tech space for coastal surveillance and partnership with Eversource and Woods Hole. An award amount of $298,394 to Boston University for the Pandemic Llama Beacon platform, which is an epidemiology in the epidemiology space for healthcare and global disease in humans and animals, tracking that with an AI model there. Bristol Community College for an ed tech first applied in a cybersecurity space. So a model to better assess knowledge and tailor content based on that with a feedback loop based on the AI model, which is a very interesting space there. For Harvard University Kepner Institute, an award amount of $811,578 for video language planning models that will be first deployed with pick and place for recycling. And then to UMass Lowell, the award amount of $500,000 for counter small UAVs, where looking at the bandwidth limitations between kind of the dashboard interfaces and the actual systems operating. So just optimizing across networks to be able to deploy there. So really a spread of sectors, geographic locations, and it was 36 applications total, so 5 awards from that pool. Happy to take questions.
Just a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So after, I assume that, after these projects have made some progress, is there some plan for how there would be sort of spreading knowledge of some of the things that have been done? Just because there's so much interest in AI right now, I think people seeing sort of the outcomes of these projects would be a positive thing. So I don't know, it's a little early, but I assume that that's part of your plan.
Yeah, so we actually just brought the first cohort together and had them share with each other. There was a lot of benefit from overlap in some of the ways they could help each other, and that was a really great experience. I think when we hold the announcement for this, we'd bring that group together along with this group. Yeah. The other piece is the requirement around the data commons to share a lot of the data sets and models that are developed as part of these. So that's another opportunity as we move forward there to share the great work that's being done.
Yeah. That's great. I think MassTech funds a lot of great stuff, and I think every opportunity we can to make it more visible is awesome. So thanks, everyone.
Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, maybe I just missed it in one of the write-ups. How many people are actively engaged when you put these grantees all together? How many folks are actually engaged in the activities?
How many total, including like partners, organizations? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. I have to count. So one of the criteria is looking for collaboration. So there's usually is 2 to 3 parties per. So I would estimate it at 10 to 15 to answer your question directly at this moment, but I'd have to go back and count the total number.
Yeah, I think it's just another aspect of sort of spreading the news of this terrific work. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other questions on the motion or on the grants?
Just one question on my part for Jennifer. Do we need to split the motion?
Yeah, I think we do. So we'll do a motion. Well, do we have any other? Okay. Do we have any recusals on this?
I would have a recusal on the one that includes UMass Lowell.
Yeah, and do we have any others?
No.
Okay, so we're going to do a vote on the 5 grants that does not include UMass Lowell to start. So do I have a motion on those 5 grants?
So moved.
And a second?
Wait, are
Second.
those 4 or 5?
Four grants, right?
Sorry, there are four.
Four.
Apologies to four.
Yeah. Those 4. Second.
Great. And Jennifer, will you go ahead with the roll?
Yes. Chancellor Chen,
Yes.
Rupa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes. And now
Okay.
we'll look for a motion on the 5th grant here with Chancellor Chen, of course, recusing herself. This is the UMass Lowell Applied Research Corporation grant. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
I'll
the
move it.
motion.
And a sec, I think I heard a second already, but a second?
Seconded.
Great. Let's go ahead and do the roll.
Okay, so Chancellor Chen is abstaining. Rupa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes.
Okay, that motion
Okay, with
passes
that-
as well.
All right, we're going to do agenda item 5 from the Innovation Institute and the RoboBench Shared Infrastructure for Commercialization Readiness. Pat Larkin will give us the background on this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Secretary. I'm actually going to take this moment to introduce our Senior Director for Programs at the Innovation Institute, Sharon Wall, who's been kind of our overseer of the robotics initiative within the Innovation Institute. And we also have James Burns with us, who is the Senior Director for Grant Making. So Sharon's going to run us through the RoboBench program.
Great, thank you, Pat. The RoboBench offering is new. It was offered in January. It's funded through the Mass Leads line item attributed to the robotics space to increase. The RoboBench program is designed to increase access to robotics-related infrastructure, to encourage cross-sector commercialization and access to robotics companies, developers, startups, etc. We were pleased with the response. It was over $12 million of funds requested, over 9 proposals, some strong proposals. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank our colleagues in the strategic investment team, the MIHI team, and the CAM team for their support in review of the applications that'll be before you. I'll hit the top line and be glad to answer any questions, but what's before you are 4 awards totaling 6.5, just over 6.5 million. We feel strongly that these 4 awards will have a material impact in the robotics ecosystem. The regional distribution between Western Mass, Central Mass, and Boston proper, we were pleased about. Strong leading academic institutions with strong industry partners such as UMass Chan, and all are building on strong foundational work and expertise to expand capabilities and footprint for some of these infrastructure needs. And then in particular, an opportunity to expand at Mass Robotics, our global powerhouse around accelerators in the robotic space. So top level, we're looking at the 4 awards. The first one is BU with their industry partner or their lead industry partner, Saint-Gobain, for just over $500,000 to introduce a Massachusetts autonomous polymer hub, a shared sandbox for polymer research and manufacturing. The second is Mass Robotics, just under $2 million to expand and renovate their 3rd floor, creating a Mass Robotics Manufacturing Implementation Center. This will be a shared small batch manufacturing capability that they would offer. The third is UMass Amherst, partnered with UMass Lowell for the expansion of an existing great utility that's out there in our environment, the UMass New England Robotics Validation and Experimental Center, NERV. Many of you have been to the NERV Center. This would expand these capabilities to the Amherst campus and extend additional programs that have different focus areas that will complement what's at UMass Lowell. Also providing a digital front door for the state to access testing capabilities across those two facilities. And the fourth is WPI partnered with UMass Chan Medical School to expand the Practice Point facility, creating the Medical Technology Innovation Center, primarily focused on expanding surgical robotics capabilities. And this again is building upon their existing Practice Point facility with expansion capabilities. I'll pause there, and I'm glad, James, myself, we're glad to answer any questions that you might have.
No questions? Okay, so, no, okay, let's go ahead to the motion. I'm guessing that we're gonna have to separate these out as well. So it's, sorry, maybe I'm wrong about that. Chancellor Chen, how do you look at the third item?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I think the whole budget's going to Amherst, right? So I
Yes.
don't know what's the legal, is there a legal, should I recuse in terms of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just out of an abundance of caution, if you want to just abstain from the vote, that's fine.
That's fine.
So
Okay.
why don't we do the first, we'll do the first, the second, and the fourth
Okay.
items, and you can see the motion in front of you, and we're going to hold off on the one to UMass Amherst. Do I have a motion?
I'll move the motion.
And a second? Okay, let's do the roll.
Okay. Chancellor Chen,
Yes.
Rupa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yep.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes. And now we'll do the
Okay.
same with item number 3, going to UMass Amherst. Do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
And a second?
Second.
Terrific. Let's go ahead and do the roll again, but with
All
one
right.
recusal.
Okay. Chancellor Chen is abstaining. Rupa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
so we're moving on. So it's passed, and we're going to move on to agenda item 6 from CAM, Center for Advanced Manufacturing. Lily Fitzgerald is going to set the table.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Good afternoon, members of the Executive Committee. I'm going to hand this off very rapidly to the Senior Manager of Manufacturing Growth and Workforce, Rich Cook, who manages this program very effectively. I think I'll just say up at the top, having a ready and technically adept and versatile workforce for manufacturing continues to be a major issue for that sector in Massachusetts. It's consistently what we hear out in the field as one of the very, very top issues, especially as the gray wave or gray tsunami hits this field, because so many manufacturing careers are still occupied by individuals from baby boomer and Gen X generations who are rapidly nearing retirement, and the sector is struggling to replace those individuals with folks who have the right technical skills and who can't replace that unbelievable wealth of knowledge. This program is one of the ways that we try to attack that challenge, but far from the only. And we have continued to evolve it every year to try to make sure that we are meeting the sector's needs, and also making sure that we're creating opportunities for populations in the state that are already underserved. And so this program is leveraging currently the trust fund, the Workforce Investment Trust Fund funding that requires us to target unemployed and underemployed individuals. So that's a really important component of what we do here. There's not just the technical, but also how do we serve those populations, and how do we try to keep them in training programs and get them the wraparound and support services that they need that are just as important as the actual skills. So a lot goes into that, and just wanted to provide that commentary. But you have 5 items before you that Rich will go over. So Rich, please take it away.
Thank you, Lily. Good afternoon, everyone. So the Advanced Manufacturing Training Grant Program support, as Lily mentioned, supports employer-aligned workforce training programs that help unemployed or underemployed residents enter careers in advanced manufacturing while addressing critical workforce shortages across the Commonwealth. For the current fiscal year, we received 8 applications requesting approximately $3.1 million in funding. Following a competitive review process, we're recommending 5 applications for funding totaling $1.72 million. These programs projected to serve approximately 232 participants statewide and are aligned with employer demand across multiple manufacturing disciplines. Those disciplines include CNC machining, welding, electronics, electromechanical assembly, industrial manufacturing technologies, and some industry recognized credentials as well. The 2 awards, there's 5 awards moving forward today. Two that need board approval are from MassHire Metro North Workforce Board in the amount of $503,609, and then from the Custom Group Center for Manufacturing Technology in the amount of $576,000. Those 2 awards are approximately $1.8 million and will support training across machining, quality inspection, welding, and electronics, while the remaining recommended awardees fall within delegated authority, but those include MassHire North Central Workforce Board for $174,989, Greenfield Community College for $288,000, and then MassHire Hamden County Workforce Board for another $179,523. Collectively, it's $1.72 million, and happy to answer any questions from the board.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, just,
I just
yep,
just want to make a comment. Just looking through all the information on this this motion and all the information in the packet, what strikes me is the diversity as far as location and the diversity in disciplines. I think it's a well-rounded kind of group of training that will be going on in the state.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
just a quick question. Is the reason why the custom machine group one isn't up for the delegated authority, it's dollar amount,
Yeah.
right?
I believe the second bullet point on the right half of the screen is actually a mistake on our part. CMT shouldn't be listed there because they are on the left, they're above the delegation of authority. So there are 2 that are above Carolyn's designation, MassHire Metro North, and then CMT. And then the other 3 listed on the right-hand side are below the delegation. So apologies, that was a typo there, unless I'm misreading that, Rich. Right?
No, that's spot on. Spot on.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at the motion. And can I have somebody move on this?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Great, let's do the roll call.
Okay, Chancellor Chen,
Yes.
Rupa.
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thanks everyone on that one. Another approved motion in there. And now we're going to do item 7, which is the Mass Broadband Institute Residential Retrofit Program. Continuing the really good work here. And Jody Jones will give us some background on this.
Thank you, Secretary Paley. Good afternoon, members of the Executive Committee. Today, MBI is bringing an approval item for one of our flagship programs, Residential Retrofit, hopefully familiar to everyone. I imagine this will be the final time we're bringing an approval item for Residential Retrofit, so just want to call attention to the final impacts that we're seeing with this program. And as a reminder, Residential Retrofit is going to address about 35% of the state's affordable housing units with upgrades in all of the wiring, upgrades so that those residents have state-of-the-art connectivity to the internet. So we're very proud of this program. Today, Pat McCormick's going to walk us through the the reallocation that we are seeking approval for today. Pat is our technical director at MBI, and I'm very happy to hand off to Pat.
Thank you, Jody, and thank you all for your time this afternoon. I'll try to be very brief and allow time for questions. Just to provide a little context here, with the proposed reallocation of funds, because of the timing and capacity, we're proposing moving properties between ISPs in order to ensure these properties the construction's able to be completed by the December 2026 deadline. So our existing ISPs, and I'll elaborate a little bit on this in a minute, they faced construction and make-ready challenges extending fiber to the properties. Hence, we are looking at these alternative ISPs that have more capacity. They have adjacent work. They have somewhat more flexible technical solutions and are highly collaborative and agile. So we are confident in their ability to complete the work. Just a little bit on the barriers faced by the prior ISPs. Comcast and Archtop fiber were awarded under retrofit, but were unable to complete the approved projects by the U.S. Treasury deadline. During contract negotiations, contract did indicate that the entire Quina-Wampanoag Tribal Housing Authority properties and some properties within Northern Essex, Gloucester, Northern Middlesex, and Metro Boston groups could be infeasible to complete by the deadline. So we've been working with them on that. And in February 2026, Archtop Fiber, having received its first estimated completion dates from National Grid for required make-ready activities, exceeded the retrofit program deadline. So Archtop was unable to commit to that or an alternative solution to serve these properties, and their contract under the retrofit program will be terminated. Hence, what you see here, I won't get into all the details, but Community Broadband Networks, or CBN America, we're proposing an amount not to exceed $7,011,391.81, and to Hawk Networks, an amount not to exceed $2,772,000. And with that, I will just pause and ask if there are any questions or things to elaborate on.
Okay.
So is there a sense that these same organizations won't run into the same problem?
Yes, and the reasons why are there are a few reasons why. One is their technical solutions are different. They don't have the same sorts of construction requirements for fiber, and moreover, they have capacity that give us the confidence in their ability to complete the work.
Thanks.
Okay, if we have no more questions, you can see the proposed motion in front of us. Do I have a motion to move forward with it?
I'll move it.
In a second?
I'll second.
Great, let's do the roll call.
Okay. Chancellor Chen,
Yes.
Rupa,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Paige,
Yes.
Pam,
Yes.
and Secretary Paley.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, so item 7 is approved. With that, thank you, everyone. So with that, I think we are done with the agenda for today. Appreciate everyone's time and continued service to the Commonwealth. And I want to also thank the MassTech team for the continued outstanding work and the many great investments you are leading along with this board's support. So thank you so much. And we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.